Lock up. Lock up. God damn it. Beat him to the outside. Such bad coverage. Oh my god, they're going for the win. Oh my god, it's a speed option. God damn it, I thought I was gonna get there. Okay, here we go. Roll right, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Javon Jackson, stay in. Get out. Yes, come on. We are almost in field goal range. I don't know if we are, but we have a timeout, and that pass was clutch. Buzz Flaviano to win the game for UTEP! Buzz! Baller Buzz in the clutch! Miners are gonna win it, baby! 2 straight ball victories! Go crazy, El Paso! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, picks up and welcome back to my UTEP Dynasty in College Football 25. As you saw at the beginning of this episode, the Miners won their 2nd straight bowl victory here with me leading the way as head coach. We took down Arizona in dramatic fashion, man. That's a finish I'm never gonna forget. We did it live on stream, as I'm gonna do with pretty much all of the bowl games in this series. But now it's time for what I think is one of the most fun episodes in any of the series I do. It's the off-season, and we've got a lot to cover this off-season, and I've listed it out for you again, as we did last off-season, where we got a lot done and changed conferences. But this one, we're not changing conferences, but we're getting ready for a big-time 2026 season that I'm very excited about. We're going to start off by recapping the college football playoff, which Ohio State won last year. Then we're going to see what players are transferring out of UTEP, and there actually are some big names that are considering it. And then we'll get a chance to bring in our own transfers and some last-minute recruits before seeing where our class ranks on National Signing Day. Players are going to change positions, then they're going to train. Some overalls will go way up that we didn't know about. Then, there are some changes I have to make in the conferences. We're going to get rid of the independents this season and place those 3 schools into conferences. And then we'll set up our preseason recruiting board, which will hopefully be very aggressive this year. And then we're going to release the 2026 schedule for UTEP, which has a couple of big name programs on it that I've already targeted we want to play. And before I show you the college football playoff, just a note, the UTEP Miners in this dynasty finished season 2 in the final top 25, ranked number 19. That's the highest finish this program has ever seen, so we're already moving mountains. But it's a feel-good story, in my opinion, to end the 2nd season in the college football playoff. The Oregon Ducks win their first national championship, beating Nebraska. They had to go all 4 rounds from the first round to the national championship and win 4 games in a row to do it. An epic finish to our season 2. How about that? First national championship in program history for Oregon football. So there are some players that want to leave UTEP, and we get a chance to persuade them to stay. It's Kavion Thunderbird and Judah Izinwa. I'm not as worried about Judah Izinwa as I am about Thunderbird, our boy. So let's try and persuade him, and it's just gonna be yes or no at this point. Kavion Thunderbird has decided to stay. It was between hating him and loving him, and we still love Kavion Thunderbird. What is Judah Izinwa gonna do? He decided to stay as well. Nobody leaves UTEP, come on. Alrighty, so we've now reached the transfer portal and off-season recruiting stage. I've set up a board. We've got 6 guys on our board right now that we're gonna push hard for in these 4 weeks. And in this period, this time around, we've done so well in the recruiting department. I'm really just looking for supplemental guys to add to the depth chart so that we're not really thin at any specific position. We needed another safety on the depth chart, so Ben Kelly's gonna be that safety, hopefully. And then I did some searching around for tight ends, found a vertical threat that's 6'5", whose name is Major Dishman. So why would I not take a chance on him? And maybe he develops and has, who knows what his development trait is, it doesn't matter. And then I also realized that we're only going to have 2 quarterbacks on the roster next season, and I definitely want to give it over to JP Pickles or Alpha Lava to start next season and kind of start their development, but we need more depth at quarterback, so Aiden Prohl is a 3-star athlete, and Delonte Coffey is a 2-star athlete that we're going to add, just to have 4 guys on the depth chart. And then we could use some depth at end, so Jamichael Ramsey is one of the guys that didn't have an offer. We're going to go for him. And our one transfer this season is going to be a corner, like we did last season with Terrence Brooks. This guy's not going to be a star like Terrence Brooks, but he's definitely going to be a valuable player. He's going to transfer in as a freshman. He's from Katy, Texas. Jed Alotu Judah and I'm actually very excited about him because I have an online Dynasty going with Old Dominion right now. I'm having a lot of fun with that, and Jed is actually one of the better corners on that roster in my Dynasty. So this feels like a fun crossover for me. I'm very excited. Hopefully we get Jed on our roster. Let's go to the next week. And it looks like all great news in our weekly advanced summary. We're first on everyone's board that we're going for. Love that. And just scrolling through these guys, you see we're first with no competition for really any of them, maybe Jamichael Ramsey, but Jed Olotu Judah has a little bit of competition here, and we can schedule visits kind of the week of, so I'm going to let it go one more week and then see if we need to schedule a visit in week 3 or 4. And a week later, it doesn't seem like we're going to need to do a visit, but I'm just going to schedule a visit just to guarantee Jed to get him on our roster, and we'll do some one-on-one coaching since he really likes our coach Prestige. And then Jamichael Ramsey is a little bit closer with Wisconsin now, so I'm going to do another visit with him as well, and we're going to do it next week in week 4. And I guess he'd also really like to do some one-on-one coaching. I guess I want to reap the benefits of my knowledge. I love it. And we have landed the Jedi corner. Jed Olotu Judah commits to UTEP. Another successful transfer in for the Miners. So great news there for Jed, and it looks like Ramsey, this visit in week 4 is going to help, and the rest of them, we're just waiting for National Signing Day to see them sign that dotted line in blue and orange. And there's 1, we got Ben Kelly, safety, and there's 2, we got Major Dishman. Aiden Prohl, quarterback out of California, is coming. Delonte Coffey, another backup quarterback's gonna be coming. Probably gonna end up redshirting him. Jamichael Ramsey does commit after his visit this week, another edge rusher for us. And that's a hell of a recruiting job from the Miners. And other schools definitely made some more signings, so the Miners fall to number 14, but let me just remind you, there's 134 teams in college. Poor Ohio and Old Dominion with these recruiting classes, what are you guys doing? But out of the 134 recruiting classes, the UTEP Miners finished the nation number 19 in the country and have the 14th ranked recruiting class and bring in the first 5-star in program history. We are working our magic here at UTEP. Big things coming. And our freshman athlete quarterback that we just signed, Aiden Prohl, is a 71 overall, which is awesome, but this is why I like signing athletes. He could play as a corner, an outside linebacker, an edge rusher. He's a versatile player. He's a football player. But we're going to keep him at quarterback because we're going to need a 3rd stringer. And our other quarterback that we signed to be our 4th stringer is very versatile. You can see he can play anywhere on the offense, but he is going to be a quarterback. We need that depth. And we're done with position changes, but after we get through the training results and the changes to the conferences, I'm going to go through the entire roster with you guys, just update where the overalls and everything are at, and look at our depth chart with you guys. And just some updates to the conferences. There was an issue last year, as when I go in here, the number of conference games for the conferences that we changed was actually at 4, so there's only teams playing 4 conference games from the Pac-12, Big 12, and Big 10, but I went and changed it to 8. I didn't really even know that was an option, so we're okay there now. And as you see, the Independence is no more. We've moved them to conferences. The UMass Minutemen are going to be joining the MAC. Joining the Big 10 are the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and joining the ACC are the University of Connecticut Huskies. Other changes to conferences, no changes with schools in the Mountain West, but I did change our conference championship to Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Raiders. And the Pac-12 was at Allegiant in Vegas, so now I've moved the Pac-12's championship to SoFi Stadium in LA. Alright, now something I haven't done for a while in this series, we haven't looked at the roster in a while, and post-training, there are definitely some upgrades to overall. Some players had great off seasons, some players didn't quite as much. So let's go position by position, starting with quarterback, and it looks like JP Pickles.
I'm a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick!
Had a very good offseason, at least in comparison to Alfa Lava. JP is going to be our starting quarterback in the first game of the season. I do want to use this year to develop one of these guys, but so far, it looks like it's going to be JP's year. I know the excitement around Alfa Lava. We brought him in because he's athletic. He's got 89 speed, but JP's been here 3 years now. He redshirted. He's 2 years into it, and he's going to start here in his 3rd season for UTEP, and I want to see what he can provide us. He actually started starting in real life for the Miners, mostly because of injuries and just issues with the offense in general, but big fan of JP Pickles right now. Rooting for him in real life, and we're going to be rooting for him in this Dynasty, and honestly, we've built a good team around him, so I think he just has to do a job, and so far I think we've been able to show off that we can do that in this dynasty. So Mr. Pickles is going to be your quarterback this season, and Darian Trish, who we've been following in this dynasty for 2 years now, is now going to be the starter since our wonderful legend Javon Jackson, who won 2 bowls and has led the team in rushing back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, I think. Maybe a little bit south of that in his second season, but excellent running back is gone. But Darian Trish has been an excellent backup for 2 years, and now he's the guy. And you see his numbers over 2 years, only 50 carries and 35 in the past 2 years, but look at that yards per carry. He's been very efficient when he has gotten the football, and especially in the passing game. In Season 1, he was definitely more involved. Season 2, he wasn't quite as involved, but I'm excited for Darian Trish this year. He's going to be a feature back. But also of note at running back, Wayne Strong had a big offseason. His rating went up a lot in training. He doesn't look super great, so I don't think we're going to use him very much. It's going to be a lot more of this guy, Rasheem Radley, the freshman out of Waco that we brought in, who I'm very excited about. 6 foot, 201, 93 speed. He's a receiving back at that size. I wish he was more of a power back. And you look at him here, my God, Rasheem, elite development trait. So that means he's going to develop at the highest rate in the game. There's 4 development traits, 4 levels of development. There's normal, impact, star, and then elite is the highest. Rasheem the Dream is going to develop at that kind of rate, so I'm hoping we can split the carries kind of 70-30, maybe as we get towards the end of the year, 50-50 with him and Darian Trish. But at least I think I want Rasheem to be our 3rd down back, knowing that he's a receiving back. A little disappointed with Sergio D'Imperio, who didn't really improve overall wise, and freshman Rashard Goodwin is a 67. Our fullback Demetrius Baldridge, I'm pretty sure he went up in overall, up to a 72 now. At wide receiver, we've got 9 guys on the roster now, and only 1 senior, so you're gonna see all of these receivers next year as well. Ryan Niblett, the thing to note with him, his speed went up to 98, very deservingly so. This dude was burning last year, over 1,000 yards receiving, first receiver to do that for us in the series, and he's gonna be the focal point of this offense once again. Zero doubts about that. Corey Foster I thought was pretty decent last year, but this year is going to be a big year for Artie LaRue, the sophomore. I want to see a lot of. He's going to be our second choice receiver over Corey Foster to start the year. I just like the excitement around Artie LaRue. Until this class of freshmen, Artie was our highest ranked receiver ever brought into UTEP. There was a lot of excitement when we signed him, and there's still a lot of excitement right now, so he's going to be our number 2 receiver. And honestly, I like Corey Foster. I do like what he gave us last year, but I want to get these freshmen on the field this year. They're electric. Manu Carrizosa and Taekwon Anthrop, both 95 plus speed, both 75 and a 76 overall ratings. These dudes are awesome, and so is Caesar awesome. So we have 6 guys at the top right here that are definitely going to want to get playing time and split playing time. I wish there was formation subs so I can choose which guys to put in at what times, and the playing time was a little bit more varied, but I'm really going to do my best to get everyone in. Tight end, nothing really changed here. Martavius Collins is a 76, Tyler Powell is a 74, Azinwa 73, Ramon East is now a redshirt freshman, 67 overall. He only has normal development, so he's not growing as fast as I'd like him to. 6'5", 85 speed is enticing though at tight end. I might make him our 3rd option over Judah Azinwa, to be honest. And then the 2 freshmen, Ben Head and Major Dishman. Major Dishman only has normal development, but I really like the look of him. And Ben Head has impact development, so a little bit faster growth for the 6'6" tight end out of Arizona. Left tackle, the blind side. Seems like it could be Lance Middleton or Jerry Tull, but since Lance is a junior, he's going to be the one we're going to start. He's also 6'8". Left guard, we've got Jerry Potts is a 76, Ben Torres is a 76, and Jake Riggs is a 75. Ben Torres is a redshirt freshman, so again, we're going to give it to the upperclassmen and probably start Jerry Potts. At center, Elliot Mills is a redshirt sophomore, and he's an 81, one of our better offensive linemen we have. At right guard, remember I tried bringing in Manu Francisco in the first year. He was a 4-star, and he didn't want to come to UTEP because of our playing style, so we went for Dom Urlacher instead. And how about this? The redshirt freshman is now an 80 overall, one of our highest offensive linemen, and he's going to start this season over senior Rolando Beltran. Beltran and Isaac Carswell, who did grow very well, I will say. But shout out to Dom Urlacher for stepping up and being that guy. Your first look at our first ever 5-star recruit to come into the program, Alex McDuffie. And I am noticing there's going to be an issue with Alex McDuffie. We did bring him in, he's a 5-star, that's exciting, yes, but look at his deal breaker, it's pro potential. And honestly, right now, I don't see a lot of pro potential with this UTEP roster. Not to say that there's going to be in the future, or not going to be, but because of this, I'm hoping he doesn't, but I'm thinking he's going to enter the transfer portal after this season if our pro potential rating doesn't go up, which it probably won't. But while we do have him, let's enjoy him. He's a 5-star recruit out of high school, star development trait, which is the 3rd highest of 4. He's going to be absolutely dynamite in the next year or two. He's already going to be one of our highest offensive linemen at 79. So let's just get the most we can out of Alex McDuffie this year, and if it doesn't work out, how about Nick Silberman and Otis Bowling right behind him, both redshirt freshmen as well, technically first-year players. At left end, it's Jalen Jones. That's the staple of this defense, and I'm so happy that he stayed because we really needed him to. At right end, it's Nasir Atkins, redshirt sophomore, who's an 82. He's a speed rusher as well. He's looking to have a good year, but there is something to note as well with their deal breakers because they're both speed rushers. Nasir Atkins has a playing style deal breaker, and right now that means we have to get a lot of sacks, which is usually something we don't do in great numbers. Jalen Jones has the same deal breaker, so something to keep an eye on this year. We need to get a lot of sacks with those two, and just in general. 4-star freshman Brendan Basham, edge rusher, looks really good. He's a 76, and he's got a late development trait. Yes, sir. Brendan Basham, he'll be taking over if one of those two edge rushers decides to leave for playing style. What's Brendan Basham's? It's playing style as well, but he's a run stopper, so that just means we have to get tackles for loss, which has been something we've been good at the last 2 years. At nose tackle, Logo Va'a is going to be entering his 4th year. He's a 77 overall, our best D tackle. Our second best D tackle, Jeff Miners, 75 overall. The true freshman is going to be playing a lot, but his deal breaker is also pro potential, so another candidate to enter the transfer portal. Starting to get just a little nervous for this upcoming offseason. I think we're going to have to plan around this, but even if we don't keep Jeff Miners, we've got a sophomore in Ashton Coker, we've got a freshman Joshua Fink, Lamar Okine, who I don't really remember recruiting at all. He's a freshman, and he's a 3-star with star development. I don't remember recruiting Lamar Okine at all. Did he walk on? That'd be nice. And also we have Tevin Grimes, so even if Jeff Miners leaves, right now we have a lot of good young D tackles. Left outside linebacker is now John Rowland, your highest overall, redshirt freshman, and this is a dude I was very excited to recruit. He just looked great. He was a gem. He had good speed, good tackling, and that good development trait of impact is paying off right now. He's up to a 79, and Brian Garcia right behind him is a 75. And also just to note, we brought in Viteo last second in the recruiting last season, and he's a 69 overall. Decent looking player out of Hawaii. Middle linebacker, it's not Kavion Thunderbird highest overall, it's Cesar Vega. I like everything about Cesar Vega over Kavion Thunderbird except his name, but Cesar Vega, 87 speed, 86 tackling, he could be a problem out there. I hope the two of these guys play a lot this season. At right outside linebacker, it's Carlos Beal, Dylan Brown Turner, our freshman Earl Rabin, who also has pro potential as a deal breaker, and Evan Baskerville, who's now a true sophomore. At cornerback, Chris Sermon is your highest overall player, but we're very balanced at the position, and I think the big thing to note here is Tyler Hawkinson, who we didn't scout when we recruited him. He was just interested in UTEP from the beginning. 97 speed, ladies and gentlemen. My God, Tyler. The Hawk is going to be our top corner. I'm going to make him our top corner. And the true freshman is going to play a big role. The true freshman out of St. Louis, Missouri. My God, Tyler Hawkinson. He's only got normal development, but man, he just looks like an absolute beast so far. You gotta love a corner that's 6 foot tall or higher with that crazy speed. And he's good in man coverage. I think he could be a problem. You see, he's got some traits down there too. How about Ramon Hope, who's more of a zone corner, 95 speed? We did know about that, and what is his development trait? This was the top guy on our board, only normal development trait. So kind of a loss there, but been taking a lot of wins with these freshmen. I think that's okay. Giovanni Barnes, Paul Cush is up to a 75. That's good. Jed Alatu Judah, look, he's a sophomore. He's not going to play a lot this season, but as Chris Sermon leaves, Charles Gibbons leaves, playing time is going to open up for a guy like that. Free safety, you see a lot of guys here, but I'll tell you why. Most important thing, Clayton Sylvan, who was our first 4-star of the series, is just continuing to grow. 79 as a sophomore, and he was a beast last season. I'm so excited for more Clayton Sylvan time. How about Denton Ladd up to a 78 now? He's a redshirt freshman since he got no snaps last year, so this could be quite the tandem at free safety. We brought in Andre Francisco as well, who's a freshman. He looks good too. I'm probably going to change him into a strong safety. We're really deep at safety, but we're losing Harold, we're losing Ray, and we're also losing 3 senior strong safeties, so that's why I went and brought in an extra safety. But Xavier Smith and Lyle Frazier are the top 2 strong safeties by overall. And then your kicker is Buzz, as you should know by now. Punter is Adam Jacklin from Australia. And before I release our 2026 schedule to you, let me show you our recruiting board in preseason, because it is a big one for us for the next 3 years of this dynasty. This could really define what the next few years look like. I'll show you why. I think it's pretty obvious as you see Terrell Jeffrey here, 5-star quarterback. That was the goal this recruiting season, is to get a 5-star quarterback. We have made our statement that we can go get 5-star players. We can go bring in these big names. And obviously our quarterbacks right now are not the highest overall. They may be fun, they may get the job done for us this season, but if we're going to want to take that next step and make it to the playoffs and even maybe push for a national championship, it's going to have to be a 4 or a 5-star quarterback that develops into a star for us. And it could be this guy, Terrell Jeffrey, #1 player in the state of Nevada. He's got a perfect deal breaker for us. Coach Prestige, that rating's not going to go down for us. We've scouted him. He looks pretty solid. I don't think he looks like a groundbreaking quarterback, but he is a 5-star. He's not a bust, so he may have decent development rating, and I think it's just possible enough for us to get Terrell Jeffrey. But I'm going to run through the rest of this list quickly, because as we offer scholarships and scout in week 1 here, things could change next week. Schools could come really hard at these players, but overall, we should be able to send the house hard for a guy like Terrell. But we've got other quarterbacks on the board. Rashad Grimes, who's a gem. Diego Escobar, Adrian Jose, Edward Tinker, who's a gem, and Maka Mahiahi. Fun name there. And then the other position, I really want to get a decent player at 4 or 5 stars. We've been missing this in our offense a little bit. More than I usually like is tight end. We've got John Payne, Coco Orzek, Hayden Hearns on this board, and I'll stop at Hayden Hearns for a second because you noticed Terrell Jeffrey is a quarterback from Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, Hayden Hearns is a tight end from Las Vegas, Nevada. As I'm sure you're wondering, they did play at the same high school. A 5-star to a 4-star quarterback to tight end combination could be an absolutely crazy storyline if we can land the both of them. And Hayden Hearns is also looking for a Coach Prestige deal breaker, so those are going to be our top 2 targets if it looks good come next week, as long as we're not way behind. But I think we should be able to pull that off. That would be amazing. I'm just going to roll through the rest of this board. There's some really good players on this board, like Chad Shaw, 5-star gem safety, and some others. But overall, I really want that quarterback tight end combo. And now I'm sure you're wondering, who are the Miners going to be playing in 2026? Well, let me show you.
Who cook rice like this? How did this woman get on BBC Food?
Yeah. Lord have mercy.
On in and hits him right in the face, breaks the goggles.
Yeah, it was LeBron picked up the lens. Lenses.
All right, Pinhead, your time is up.
Who you calling Pinhead?
You just drop in and just smack the lip. Whoop-ah! Drop down, snap. Ah!
Got some big cow house way out that way, like 2 miles, but I don't see nobody.
Cow house?
Because I feel like somebody was just like, it's the Utah State fuck it, Aggies.
I tend to think of myself as a one-man wolf pack.
We all sin.
just Blair. Okay. Blue.
Aaron Judge is at his alma mater this weekend.
The heating up Judge, who settles under this ball, but then drops it.
All that, it only gets you so far. At the end of the day, you have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys, and we'll find out who wants it more, and we'll see how far Instagram followers gets them.
All right, Lois, go ahead. Say it.
Chris, it's time for supper.
Hold there.
So as you saw there, a little bit more of a fun way to announce our schedule. We got Rice in the opening week at home in the Sun Bowl. We're going to the Swamp to play SEC School Florida. And honestly, I wanted to get JP Pickles a game in his home state, and my god, what a game that's going to be for him. Gonna have a lot of family in the stands, hopefully watching him lead the biggest upset of the series so far. And then we play our rivals from CUSA, who we haven't seen in a year, Sam Houston at the Sun Bowl, a week off, and then we're into Mountain West play, where we play Hawaii, New Mexico, Utah State, Nevada. We're going to Boise State again, and then we've got Fresno State, Colorado State, and we finish off with Wyoming at home on Senior Day. But that is going to do it here for episode 16. We are going to get into that next season. I think there's a lot to look forward to in this Dynasty. I think realistically for the next few years, I'm not thinking we're going to make it to the playoffs this year. We might, depending on how good JP Pickles is for us. But I think the goal this year should be to compete for the Mountain West Conference Championship next season, I think, with better development from JP Pickles, or if we land that 5-star quarterback next season, I want to make a push for the playoffs. And then if it is that 5-star quarterback, this is why it's such a big deal. If we do get the 5-star quarterback next season, we can push for the playoffs, in my opinion. But the year after that, we can push for everything. A second-year 5-star quarterback is something I haven't had in this game so far. I want it bad. So we're gonna push hard. Starting next episode, when we play Florida, when we play USC, we're gonna get through the whole non-conference schedule next episode. So wait until then, and join me next time with the UTEP Miners. Until that though, this has been Therios. Picks up, and you'll never walk alone.